Hi Leo, this is Kendrick from Providence Tarot. I'm going to give you your August part 2. Okay, let me see what's going on with you. Alright, so you got the Three of Cups in the center of your reading. So this is Mercury in Cancer, and this is basically where Mercury is right now, right? Mercury has now started to go direct. The retrograde was Mercury in Cancer. The threes are definitely related to the third house, which is Gemini, which is talking about communication. So you guys might be needing to communicate more with the people that you are in intimate or loving relationships with, right? It could also have to do with the mother. Maybe there's more communication that you need to have with your mother about something, and also siblings. So it's the mother, it's the siblings, and it also has to do with something in terms of a third-party relationship, perhaps. Maybe you might be thinking that your partner might be seeing someone else, or you might be feeling like, there might be more complexity or more multiplicity in a situation that has to do with, a relationship. It is also talking about creativity for some of you, so some of you need to tap back into your creativity. You're probably being inspired to create something, so don't let that thing stay inside of you. You know what I mean? You need to express that. And the threes are also talking about expressions. It is related to Libra, and it is related to Taurus energy. It's Venus, so it's talking about beauty. Maybe you need to celebrate your beauty more, put a little bit more energy into your beautification process, your aesthetics. Maybe some of you are changing up your aesthetic, you know what I mean, that type of thing. The threes are also talking about information, and information for information's sake. Sometimes you just need to tell people how you feel about them because they need to know, you know what I mean, because it's talking about your mental health. The third house is talking about your mental health, right? Because Gemini is the first air sign, and it is the sign that rules communication. So sometimes we have to access parts of ourself to communicate better, right? So yeah, it's talking about that. And the challenge that you guys are dealing with right now during your birthday season, happy birthday if I didn't say that, is the moon. So you're challenged by some hidden issues, right? And like I said, third party relationship, or maybe there are just some things that unclarified things within a relationship, okay? Some of you could be telling yourself the wrong things, right? Because it is Cancer, and this is talking about how you think and how you feel. How you think is going to be, is going to affect how you feel, and your feelings are what you're being challenged by right now, because Cancer is ruled by the moon, and the moon is number 18, which is talking about the awareness of your fears, the awareness of your strengths, your weaknesses, and it's also talking about being able to go inward to discover things about a situation, or about yourself, or about a cycle that has ended, or one that has evolved, right? The moon is talking about evolution, and it also is talking about growth. So maybe you've outgrown this relationship, or maybe you've outgrown whatever it is that you were getting out of this. The threes do talk about receptivity and openness. So maybe you are just feeling like you need a little bit more love and care from your partner, right? Maybe that's what's missing, maybe that's what's lacking, because the moon is talking about what's lacking sometimes. The moon is related to Cancer, and that's talking about emotional complacency sometimes too. So you might just be emotionally complacent about something. The moon is also talking about your money, because it is a 9. So how you feel emotionally is going to affect your motivation, and how you see yourself getting from one point to another. Your belief systems are going to be affected by your emotions, because sometimes your emotions are so unexplainable that it's like your belief systems aren't really strong enough. They're kind of taking a back seat to your emotions, because your belief systems can really get you out of a place of feeling emotionally complacent, because when you remember who you are, then you can move forward confidently. And the moon is talking about your confidence as well. You know what I mean? The 9th house is Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is talking about, confidence, right? And the confidence to be able to act, right? Out of what you believe yourself to be capable of. You know what I mean? So don't let something get in the way and kind of like, become a speed bump and make you complacent because of the challenges. You're going to experience challenges in, your daily life, your everyday life. You just have to keep your eye on the goal and keep your focus on the goal at hand here. And if there's a truth that that can't be denied, then, hello, stop denying yourself, or stop, being in denial about the truth. Oh, wonderful. We were talking about confidence. The star card came up, and this is, this is basically where our full moon is going to be this month in Aquarius when it's opposing the sun in Leo. The star card is number 17, and that's number that that reduces down to an 8. But before it reduces, you have the awareness of what it's going to take to move forward. Right? It's kind of like you're focused on what's going to take you out of a feeling of being maybe sad. You might be a little bit depressed. The star card talks about going inward, definitely, to find a part of yourself that can be re-encouraged. Okay, it's talking about spiritual motivation, because it's your perspective that you need to sort of like tap into. You need to see the bigger picture here, and whatever it is that you might be going through, you got to rebalance your chakras too. You know what I mean? So some of you guys could be feeling spiritually exhausted, and you have to pour energy into that. It's like we eat, we sleep, we go to work. Why don't we do things that are going to be for our brain and our mind and just our overall health? Health isn't just eating right and going to the gym. It's talking about spiritual health, communication, like healthy communication. All forms of practicing health are going to be beneficial to the big picture, right? And here's a star card. 17 reduces to an 8, so it's talking about being aware of your weaknesses and being aware of how your weaknesses are affecting you emotionally. And weaknesses are really just to show you how you can level up and how you can sort of like reinforce something in your life, because Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is talking about reinforcement to come up with a product, or to kind of like help you graduate to a new phase, right? So that you can embody a version of yourself that is going to be more mature and more seasoned. You know what I mean? It's not talking about changing who you are. It's just seeing who you are in a better light. Okay, and then in the moon position, you have another card that is fixed. This is the Hierophant, and this is related to Taurus. Taurus is the second house, and it talks about earned income, and it also talks about commitment. And this card is number 5, right? And we're in the fifth house right now, basically, which is Leo. We're in the 5th sign, and that talks about commitments as well. It's commitments to yourself. You know what I mean? You have to definitely you have to stay committed to yourself. You have to take these vows for yourself. It's like people have these like New Year's resolutions, and that's just really kind of like tapping into like who you believe you are and what you believe that you're capable of and what you can do. You know what I mean? But you have to sort of like realize that no one is going to be you to do anything for you. You know what I mean? And sometimes we get a little bit too comfortable with ourselves, and we don't want to change anything. And the Hierophant is talking about belief systems, and sometimes you get comfortable in your belief systems and you don't think that anything else is going to come and challenge that to change it. You know what I mean? So there is some sense of opposition here, with the Hierophant being number 5 and number 5 being Leo as well. And then you having the Aquarius card here, which is the star card. So there are some oppositions in belief systems with the family, probably, and with the mother. You know what I mean? Because you have 2 cards that are representative of the mother right here in the present, and the challenge, the immediate influence. You know what I mean? And you just have to just give it some time, okay? And because the moon does talk about time as well. Because every time, every 2 weeks we have a different we begin and end a different cycle, right? Because you have the new moons and then you have the full moons, right? And in between, I feel like that's where like all of the work is happening. So you guys have some work to do as well. Wow, look, you have the sun in the past, so that's pouring positive energy in your reading. And then you have the Daughter of Swords in the future, so this is saying that you might be being a know-it-all, Also, you could be having a new beginning. Like I said, it's a new phase. Something is ending so that something can begin. This is kind of like an upgrade, the Daughter of Swords. And the sun is definitely pouring a lot of energy into that upgrade. There is something that you can't, go back to, you know what I mean? Because the Ten of Swords is talking about, the ruin of something. Something has ended, and it won't go back to the way that it always has been, or the way that you knew it to be. Your focus is changing, and it is a change of focus. You got the Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck, which is talking about the truth, right? And trusting in the truth and believing in this new focus, right, that you're faced with. Just let the past be the past, and don't let yourself worry anymore about what it is that you can't change about that. You know what I mean? The truth is the truth, and it really is about newness. This is a really great reading. You have the sun, your planet, and then you have the aces. business. You got the Star card talking about relationships, also the Hierophant, you know, so there are some things that are changing and coming into a new focus for you.